I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can we start with a roll call, please?
Council President O'Halloran.
Here.
Okay, Councilmember McIrvin.
Here.
Councilmember Prince.
Here.
Councilmember Perez.
Here.
Councilmember Vaughn.
Here.
Councilmember Alverson.
Here.
Councilmember Rivera.
Here.
Call, Mr. Mayor, all present.
All right, thank you. And tonight we're going to start off with a proclamation, and it's Ready in Renton Month.
Okay, proclamation. Whereas September has been designated by the President of the United States of America as National Preparedness Month, which coincides with the city of Renton's Ready in Renton emergency preparedness campaign. And whereas Renton has experienced natural and human-caused disasters in the past, and scientific evidence indicates the city and the region remain vulnerable to disasters in the future. And whereas investing in the preparedness of ourselves, our families, our businesses, and our neighborhoods can reduce injuries, fatalities, and economic devastation from disasters. And whereas the basic steps of emergency preparedness are the same for everyone, make a plan, build a kit, and help one another to become self-sufficient for up to 2 weeks. And whereas because staying informed is a vital part of responding appropriately to emergencies, Renton community members are encouraged to locate and bookmark their sources of emergency information in advance at rentonwa.gov, to sign up for Alert Renton, and to follow the city's social media accounts on Facebook, Twitter, and Nextdoor. And whereas there is great language diversity within the community, and Renton residents and businesses are encouraged to share translated information at bit.ly/preparedness publications with their neighbors, and to relay any emergency messages to help their neighbors understand and take appropriate life-saving actions. And whereas the Emergency Management Preparedness Academy and the Community Emergency Response Team classes are ways for the public to educate themselves on basic preparedness skills, including fire suppression, first aid, search and rescue, and more. Now, therefore, I, Armando Pavoni, Mayor of the City of Renton, do hereby proclaim September 2023 to be Ready in Renton Month in the City of Renton, and I encourage all residents to formulate a preparedness plan. In witness thereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the City of Renton to be affixed this 25th day of September 2023, signed Armando Pavoni, Mayor of the City of Renton.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilmember Prince.
I move the proclamation be adopted as read.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Councilmember Prince, seconded by Councilmember McIrvin, that the proclamation be adopted as read. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. All right, motion carries. And tonight to accept our proclamation is our own Deb Needham. Deb.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of council. Ready in Renton Month has been with us since as long as I have been here, since 2007. And it is really a testament to Renton's commitment to the safety of our community that we encourage people to do this every single year when we hit the month of September. So I want to encourage people to take advantage of looking at what we have available on social media, on the city's website. We did just start a CERT class, and so that is in progress now. We'll be graduating some new Citizen Emergency Response Team members in November, and we will have another class in the spring. We also have many classes offered for the Renton Emergency Preparedness Academy, so we would encourage you to take advantage of those as well. Thank you again for this opportunity and for the recognition.
All right, thank you. Did you have a question?
No, it wasn't a clap.
Oh, okay. All right.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Deb.
Okay, thank you. Next, we have the administrative report.
All right. Good evening, everyone. The Clean Economy Strategy 2.0 draft plan is now final and ready for public comment. The plan will serve as a roadmap to reduce greenhouse gas emissions, enhance environmental sustainability, and help the community prepare for climate change. The plan is available for review online at rentonces.conveo.com. Let me spell that. rentonces.conveo.com. A hybrid briefing and public hearing will be held at the Planning Commission meeting on October 4th at 6 p.m. The public comment period will remain open through October 4th. Questions should be directed to our own Katie Buchel-Morales at kbuchl-morales@rentonwa.gov. Water Shortage Response Plan Activation and Conservation. The City of Seattle Public Utilities has activated the voluntary stage of its water shortage contingency plan and is requesting customers to reduce water use. Water supply reservoirs in their Cedar River and Tolt watersheds are significantly lower than normal due to an early snowpack melt off the spring, an extended period of warm weather, and lower than normal rainfall during the year. The City of Renton's wholesale water supply contract with SPU and our participation in the Saving Water Partnership requires we activate the voluntary state of our water shortage response plan. While Renton is not anticipating any water shortage from our own water supply sources, we encourage everyone to reduce water use in support of the regional water conservation effort. Approximately 40% of Renton is served by water districts that purchase water from Seattle. Information about preventative street maintenance, traffic impact projects, and road closures happening this week can be found at rentonwa.gov/traffic. All projects are weather permitting. Unless otherwise noted, the streets will always remain open.
All right, thank you. Next up, we have audience comments. When I call your name, please step up to the podium. You'll have 3 minutes to speak. Please give your name, the city that you reside in, and what you'd like to discuss. There'll be a timer right there. It'll turn to yellow when your time's almost up. And we have one person signed up at this point, and it is Ed Eichsenberger. Ed.
My name is Ed Eichsenberger, resident of Renton for 46 years, and hanging in there. I'm here to contest the possible losing of the Veterans of Foreign Wars parking lot. It's an elderly group, and it would put a lot of people at a real disconvenience. That's it. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Do we have anybody online signed up? I don't believe so. It's on check.
I don't believe so, sir.
Okay. All right, next up is the consent agenda. There are 4 items. Are there any items that council would like pulled for separate consideration?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Councilman.
seeing none, I move the consent agenda be adopted as published.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Councilmember Prince, seconded by Councilmember McGurven, that the council adopt the consent agenda as published. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. All right, motion carries. We are on to unfinished business. Our council president is home remotely. Council President O'Halloran.
No unfinished business, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Okay, Councilmember McGurven.
No unfinished business, Mr. Mayor.
Councilmember Prince.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, the Planning and Development Committee has a couple of committee reports.
Okay, P&D Committee, Planning and Development Committee, Committee Report. This one is regarding the 2023 School District Capital Facilities Plans and the 2024 Renton Regional Fire Authority Capital Facility, I don't believe that's correct, and approval of respective impact fees and fire marshal fees. The Planning and Development Committee recommends concurrence with the following staff recommendations to approve the impact fees listed in the capital facility plans for the Renton, Kent, and Issaquah school districts, and to incorporate the requested fee amounts for each district into the Renton fee schedule to take effect January 1st, 2024. The committee further recommends approval of the requested fire impact fees and fire marshal plans, review and inspection fees, and to incorporate them into the Renton fee schedule to take effect January 1st, 2024. This is signed by the committee chair and members.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Councilmember Prince.
I move that the Planning and Development Committee report be adopted as read.
Second.
It's been moved by Councilmember Prince, second by Councilmember McGurven, that the council concur with the Planning and Development Committee report. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. All right, motion carries.
All right, the next report is regarding the 2023 Title IV Docket 18 Group C. The Planning and Development Committee recommends concurrence in the Staff and Planning Commission recommendation to adopt the 2023 Title IV Docket 18 Group C items. One is Docket 229, which is eating, drinking, and other food-related land uses, and further recommends that an ordinance for this item be prepared and presented for first reading when it is complete. And then Docket 230 regarding sports arenas, auditoriums, and exhibition halls, and further recommends that the ordinance be presented for first reading at tonight's council meeting. This is signed by the committee chair and members.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes, Councilmember Prince.
Yeah, thank you. We had a great conversation on this in committee this evening. And I move that council concur with the Planning and Development Committee report.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Councilmember Prince, second by Councilmember McGurven, that the council concur in the Planning and Development Committee report. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Opposed, nay. All right, motion carries.
That's all, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Councilmember Perez.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First, I want to thank our wonderful staff for adding numbers to the agenda, so that way I can very confidently say that we have 4 Finance Committee reports to present.
There are 4. The first Finance Committee report is approval of claims and payroll vouchers. The Finance Committee approves the following payments. Accounts payable, total payment of $6,798,022.77 for a number of vouchers and payroll benefit withholding vouchers and 3 wire transfers. 2 is payroll, total payment of $1,939,709.56 for payroll vouchers that include 760 direct deposits and 26 checks. This is the August 16th through 31st pay period. And then Kidder Matthews vouchers totaling $37,896.34, and municipal court vouchers totaling $12,732.53. This is signed by the committee chair and members.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilmember Perez.
I move that the council concur with the recommendation of the Finance Committee report.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Councilmember Perez, second by Councilmember Albertson, that the council concur with the Finance Committee report. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, nay. All right, motion carries.
All right, the next report is regarding a grant from the Association of Washington Cities. The Finance Committee recommends concurrence in the staff recommendation to authorize the mayor and city clerk to execute the grant agreement with the Association of Washington Cities for the Alternative Response Co-Responder Program to receive $135,000 to reimburse the Project Be Free co-response contract costs, subject to approval as to legal form. This is signed by the committee chair and members.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes,
I
Councilmember Perez.
move that the council concur with the recommendation of the Finance Committee report.
Second.
Okay, it's moved by Councilmember Perez, second by Councilmember Albertson, that the council concur with the Finance Committee report. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
All right, the next report is regarding an agreement with Project Be Free for the co-response services. The Finance Committee recommends concurrence in the staff recommendation to authorize the mayor and city clerk to execute the agreement with Project Be Free in the amount of $135,000 for co-response services on domestic violence calls with the Renton Police Department, subject to approval as to legal form. This too is signed by the committee chair and members.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Councilmember Perez.
I move that the council concur with the recommendation of the Finance Committee report.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Councilmember Perez, second by Councilmember Albertson, that the council concur with the Finance Committee report. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. All right, motion carries. And before we move on, I just want to point out that Project Be Free is new to our community, and the work they're doing is amazing. And their partnership with the police department provides a service that we didn't have before, and we're extremely lucky to have them in our community. So Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Yes.
Thank you
Councilmember.
so much for mentioning that. We did have a conversation in Finance Committee, everything that we can do to help our victims of domestic violence. And the most important thing to prevent that domestic violence happening in our community is very important. So thank you very much for all the work of staff to getting this grant for these purposes. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
I have one final report for Finance Committee. It's regarding Amendment Number 2 to a contract with Insight Public Sector. The Finance Committee recommends concurrence in the staff recommendation to ratify the execution of Amendment Number 2 to Contract 2154 with Insight Public Sector in the amount of $1,143,553.80 for the Microsoft M365 Enterprise Agreement Renewal. This is signed by the committee chair and members.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Councilmember Perez.
I move that the council concur with the recommendation of the Finance Committee committee report.
Second.
It's been moved by Councilmember Perez, second by Councilmember Albertson, that the council concur with the Finance Committee report. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. All right, motion carries. And we are on to Councilmember Van.
No unfinished business, Mr. Mayor.
Councilmember Albertson,
Unfinished business, Mr. Mayor.
Councilmember Rivera.
No unfinished business, Mr. Mayor.
All right. And that gets us up to legislation. We have 2 ordinance for first reading and 2 ordinance for second and final.
Okay, the first ordinance for first reading is regarding sports arenas, auditoriums, and exhibition halls. An ordinance of the City of Renton, Washington, amending sections 4260J and 4280A29 of the Renton Municipal Code regarding zoning for sports arenas, auditoriums, and exhibition halls of the Renton Municipal Code, authorizing corrections, providing for severability, and establishing an effective date.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Councilmember Prince.
I move the ordinance be placed on second and final reading at the next council meeting.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Councilmember Prince, seconded by Councilmember McGurven, that the ordinance be placed on second and final reading at the next council meeting. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
The next ordinance was approved by, was recommended for approval by the Planning and Development Committee on July 10th. It's regarding amending impact fee deductions. An ordinance of the City of Renton, Washington, amending subsections 41190D, 41190G4, and 41190I2 of the Renton Municipal Code, amending impact fee regulations regarding impact fee deductions, and adding a definition and impact fee exemption standards related to early learning facilities, authorizing corrections, providing for severability, and establishing an effective date.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilmember Prince.
I move this ordinance be placed on second and final reading at the next council meeting.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Councilmember Prince, seconded by Councilmember McGurven, that the ordinance be placed on second and final reading at the next council meeting. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
All right, the next ordinance is for second and final reading, and it's regarding the 2024 King County wastewater treatment charge rate increase. An ordinance of the City of Renton, Washington, amending Section 8515D of the Renton Municipal Code, establishing the King County Metro wastewater pass-through rate for 2024, authorizing corrections, providing for severability, and establishing an effective date.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Councilmember Albertson.
I move the ordinance be adopted as read.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Councilmember Albertson, seconded by Councilmember McGurven, that the ordinance be adopted as read. It's a second reading, will require a roll call.
Council President O'Halloran.
Aye.
Councilmember McGurven.
Aye.
Councilmember Prince.
Aye.
Councilmember Perez.
Aye.
Councilmember Vaughn.
Aye.
Councilmember Albertson.
Aye.
And Councilmember Rivera.
Aye.
Roll call, Mr. Mayor. All ayes.
All right, motion carries.
All right, the final ordinance for second and final reading is regarding the acquisition of permanent utility easement and temporary construction easement for Monroe Avenue Northeast Infiltration Facility Project. An ordinance of the City of Renton, Washington, providing for the acquisition of a permanent utility easement and temporary construction easement located at 301 Monroe Avenue Northeast, Renton, Washington, under imminent threat of eminent domain for a stormwater and water quality treatment project, providing for severability, and establishing an effective date.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Councilmember Albertson.
I move the ordinance be adopted as read.
Second.
It's been moved by Councilmember Alverson, seconded by Councilmember Rivera, that the ordinance be adopted as read. It's a second reading, will require a roll call.
Council President O'Halloran. Councilmember McIrvin.
Aye.
Councilmember Prince.
Aye.
Councilmember Perez. Aye. Councilmember Vaughn.
Aye.
Councilmember Alverson.
Aye.
And Councilmember Rivera.
Aye.
Roll call, Mr. Mayor. All ayes.
All right, motion carries, and we are on to new business. Council President O'Halloran.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, on Monday, October the 2nd, the committee of the whole meeting has been canceled. On Monday, October the 2nd at 7 p.m., we will have a regularly scheduled, council meeting located in the council chambers and via video conference. And that's all I have, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Get better soon. All right, Council Member McGurven.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, the Transportation Committee will be meeting on Monday, October 2nd at 6:15 p.m. in the council conference room and via video conference. There is one item on the agenda, and that is amendment number 4 to CAG 20-106 with Mott McDonald for engineering services related to the seaplane base flood damage. And that's all, Mr. Mayor.
All right, thank you. Councilmember Prince.
No new business, Mr. Mayor.
Councilmember Perez.
No new business, Mr. Mayor.
Councilmember Van.
No new business, Mr. Mayor.
Councilmember Alverson.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to announce on Monday, October 2nd, the Utilities Committee will be meeting at 4 p.m. in the council conference room and via video conference. One item on the agenda, emerging issues in utilities, specifically regional and city drinking water supply status briefing. And that's all, Mr. Mayor.
All right, Councilmember Rivera.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The Community Services Committee will be meeting on Monday, October 2nd at 5 p.m. in the council conference room or video conference. We'll be discussing 3 items: the appointment of the Equity Commission, the Recreation Division updates, and tenant rights education. And that is all.
All right, thank you. What is the wish of the council?
Move we adjourn.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Councilmember Prince, second by Councilmember McGurven, that we adjourn. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Anybody want to stay? Say no. All right, we're adjourned.